This conversation starts calm, and then everything shifts. Let's break it down on Choir Media.
What's going on, Erica? Hello. What do you have for me? She unmuted me. Unmute yourself. What? Go ahead. What do you have for me?
I do consider myself a high value woman, and I
Okay.
feel like a lot of the things you say are true.
But
But I feel like there's ways you can say truth. You can say it in a way that builds people, or you can
uh,
say it in a way that tears people down.
okay,
And
tell me what way works for everybody.
sorry, what way that works for everybody?
Uh-huh.
Well, I think people do better when you give them truth, but with
No. Tell me
Mhm.
what way that works for everybody, where everybody's happy.
There's no way to make everybody happy.
Right.
But I think you genuinely want to. I hope that you genuinely want to help women and men in the Black community make better relationships, high value men.
I've had 4 couples that have already got together in my group, and one's getting married. And every day I wake up and I have women tell me that I'm helping them. I had women on the panel tonight saying it. So everybody's see what I never really get from Black women is you always get the veiled. Well, I like what you do, but there's a way to do it. When who's doing it right? What Black man talks to Black women the right way?
Well, I'm talking about you, and I think you have potential to
Right, but what
share
I'm
your message
saying
of
is, if I
truth,
were
but in
going
a
to
way that's constructive. That's all I'm
like
saying.
who? Like who does it the right
I don't
way?
know that there's anyone out there doing it perfectly.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm intrigued by you, because I think a lot of the things you're saying have truth in them. But if you spin it in a way that is constructive and true, with the last young lady, I thought you were giving her constructive feedback, like be
Okay,
fit,
well,
be your best self. That's
do you
constructive.
understand that I am a reflector? That
Mhm.
if someone gives me negative, I can't reflect back positive. How can
I
I
don't
give
think
that person? How can I give that young lady that, and then I have to say the previous thing to the previous young lady? What's the difference? Because I'm the same Kevin.
uh I guess I hear you sometimes giving constructive feedback, and other times it's like a message of there's no hope for you. And one
Uh,
example, honestly, the reason I wanted to call in is because I stumbled upon you on accident because you were a guest on a podcast that I listened to, and I heard one of my friends who called in and got advice from you, and she is
okay.
someone who is beautiful and talented, and you told her that she was overweight, and so for
Was it
the
true?
past,
Was it
I'm
true?
well, actually, if you let me, I'll try to
No, I just think,
explain.
but ma'am, I have a
She's
show to run.
not. She has a
Hold on,
six
ma'am,
pack.
ma'am, hold on.
She has
I
a
need.
six pack, and
Okay,
she's
first
very
off, man, I need
fit.
you to understand. Hold on, I'm running a show,
Hmm.
so, and I'm an image consultant. So, if I told her she was overweight, you telling me I was wrong for telling her she was overweight?
I'm telling you that you created an eating disorder in someone.
I didn't create shit. She's no. See, that is what I will not do, and you will not put that on me. People are
Can you let me
responsible.
explain
No, I
this?
can no, ma'am. I will not. You will not tell me that I'm responsible for what another adult decides to do. I would not do that because if she became immensely successful, are you going to say that I'm responsible for all that too? No.
Well, if you'd let me finish, she is now dating a high value man. So she's been working out like crazy. And when I
But she
met
has an
her,
eating disorder.
well, if you let me explain the context, maybe eating disorder was the wrong terminology.
Ma'am,
But
you're talking.
she is obsessed with the number on the scale. And I remember
Uh,
meeting her and being like, why are you so obsessed with being below this
how
certain
tall?
weight
How
when
tall
you
is
have
she?
a six
How
pack?
tall would who? How
Um,
tall is the woman that you're talking
she's
about?
I would say like 5'8".
And how much
So
does she weigh?
she's a taller girl. I don't know how much she weighs, but I know it's over I think she's like over 160 because she's obsessed with being below 160.
Okay.
And I was
And I'm sorry, ma'am. According to the American Medical Association, and any of the medical professionals, I'm right.
and I would suggest that if you met this woman with her six pack,
Ma'am, I'm
she's all
sorry.
muscle.
I don't have to meet a woman to know whether or not what I say is generally true. See, what you're trying to do is basically tell me, I like what you have to say, but what you should do is be able to clairvoyantly understand everybody's mental state. Due respect, ma'am, I am not a psychiatrist.
And I'm
I
not
am not.
asking.
Listen, no.
I understand you.
So you're calling into a YouTube show of an image consultant to give advice, and you're trying to tell me that that I gave somebody an eating disorder. That's bullshit.
Kevin, I don't want to argue with you about.
You're not going to argue with me, man, because that's bullshit.
Okay, I see. You want to argue. I was just trying to give you.
Do you realize what you said, though, ma'am? Do you realize what you said? You came onto my show and said, I'm responsible for giving a woman an eating disorder.
And then I dialed it back and said that probably was language that was too strong. My point is, you can give feedback that is absolutely true and do it in a constructive way, which is what I heard you doing to the last caller. But there is a line you have to walk where it gets too...
Why do I have to walk? Why do I have to walk a line if I am not your paid therapist? Why do I have to walk that line?
Because you have a platform. I'm not telling you what you have to do.
Well, yes, you are. You are telling me what I have to do. And I'm asking you, why do I have to walk a line that person isn't doing in their own life? If they really wanted clinical advice in a private setting that was going to be helpful to where they didn't feel some kind of way, they go get a therapist. But instead, they decide to call into a YouTube show. They don't book a session with me and pay $849 and say, well, I want an hour of your time. No, they call into a show for free. And then I talk to them and I give them the best advice I can. And it's the best general advice. So look, ma'am, you don't have to like what I'm saying, but I don't sit here and just throw things out that aren't true. If I said the woman was overweight, she's overweight according to the AMA, BMI, and all the other science statistics and everything else. You want to say, well, she has a six-pack and this and that. Serena Williams has a six-pack too. Is she overweight?
I don't know if Serena Williams is overweight. I just think BMI,
you know what she looks like though in general.
I mean, again, I judge people on, do you look fit? Do you look good? And so for me,
again, I asked you about Serena Williams.
I don't.
We know what this.
I don't, but I don't know.
Okay, again, and that's the problem in the Black community. We're so well. It depends on how you look. I had a woman on this show the other day that was over 200 pounds and said she was just fine. And I'm sorry. I think that is more dangerous to the Black community and everything else. I accept some of the stuff you're trying to come across, ma'am, but what you're saying is just as toxic. It's far more dangerous than what you say I'm saying. I didn't lie. No, ma'am, I did not lie. When you say you come on my show saying that I'm responsible for somebody giving an eating disorder, you lose all credibility with me. And you can dial it back only because I checked that shit. You would have let that just ride if I hadn't said anything.
I said that, but I agree with you that it's not fair that I don't know her history. She may have always had issues with her body image. It was just interesting to me that when I
why'd you attribute it to me? So if you don't know her history, why would you attribute it to me?
Well, what happened was I was listening to your show and I heard my friend and I'm like, oh my God. Maybe that's the source of why she's so obsessed with.
Oh, so you did not know, but you had no problem accusing me of it.
And we can argue about this, but that wasn't my.
No, we can't, ma'am, because I don't. Because no, don't.
You were doing good work. I think you were.
See, this is. Far too often, you sisters are just used to being able to say whatever you want about a brother. You throw stuff out there, act like it has no impact. This woman came on my show and basically tried to accuse me of downing a woman so much that she developed an eating disorder. Ma'am, go back and listen to what you said. That's what you said. And there's no two ways about it. That's some bullshit. I am not your friend's therapist. But look, you have no problem putting it at the feet of a Black man. And then going to tell me, well, you should do it in a way to do this. You know what? If you find somebody who's doing it a better way, go support them. This is the way I'm going to do it, and it seems to be working. And apparently, according to your friend, if she's paying attention to her weight and she's having better outcomes in her life, good for her. You can unmute yourself. She's having better outcomes in life, your friend? Because she's dating a high-value man now, right?
She is, but to be fair, she's always
good. You're going to learn about coming over here messing with me. My friend start watching you and start watching her weight, and now she's dating a high-value man. You need to send a PayPal donation. Fuck you mean? I mean, seriously. I've had women come over here. I like what you say, but you should really say it differently. Let me be 100% clear. I expect to be talking to adults. If you have a fragile mental status, don't call it a YouTube advice show. I've had people ask me, well, aren't you concerned that somebody will do something to themselves? No. Because all I do is tell them a verifiable truth that can be seen. That bothers me. No. And then, well, you should do it more like Dr. Umar Johnson does. Our charges are different in life. As an image consultant, life coach, I'm concerned about outcomes. And if you are overweight, according to the AMA or the BMI, I will call you overweight. If you don't like it, I hear black folks trying to do this all the time. Oh man, those standards aren't made for black folks. Those aren't made for this. You got to put a tape measure on this. You got to put a tape measure on that. Whatever. I'm not playing in all those games. I'm not. And if you want to play all those games, don't call the show. Because whatever advice I give you is going to be for you to overall improve. I'm never going to say, I've heard men actually get in front of groups of women and tell women who they can see are obese and tell them, it doesn't matter as long as you love what you feel and you feel healthy and your blood pressure is low and this and that. Men that had doctor in front of their name, telling women, giving them the first charge of his responsibility is far different than mine. He took the Hippocratic oath, not me. His charge is to do no harm. And then this woman's going to tell me, you're right. I accused you of something that's horrible. That's a horrible thing to accuse somebody of. And then going to say, well, you know what? I shouldn't have accused you of that because I don't know her medical history, this and that. You don't play with people's name and reputation like that, man. You're 110% freaking wrong. But anyway, I bet her friend is happy. A high value man fitting into her dress. And I'm glad the scale. You need to be on the scale. You need to be yes. Because a man's scale is his paycheck and his bank account. You want him to be acutely aware of that. Then you need to be acutely aware of yourself. Heck y'all mean, man. So this is the camera. We're in overtime now. That's a good way to get end the conversation with me. Accuse me of doing something to somebody or make me responsible for what a grown-ass person does. Shit. No, thank you.
So let's talk about it. First off, there's no age or weight mentioned in this clip, but honestly, that's not even the focus here. This is about behavior under pressure. The big point being made is you knew what you were calling into, and that's real. When you go on a platform like Kevin Samuel's show, you already know it's direct, it's structured, it's not emotionally padded. So when someone comes in and then starts pushing back emotionally or trying to flip the narrative, it can come off like you weren't ready for the conversation you signed up for. Now here's where it gets deeper. You mentioned something important. This isn't just about black women. And you're right. This pattern shows up across the board. Entering a conversation without full context. Reacting emotionally instead of listening fully. Trying to check someone publicly, especially when there's an audience. Because once there's an audience involved, it stops being just a conversation. It becomes performance. And that's when people start doubling down, backpedaling, or trying to regain control of the narrative now about the know your place part. Let's be real. That phrase hits differently depending on how it's used. At its core, what's really being said here is know the environment you're in and move accordingly. If it's a structured debate, be precise. If it's a critique-based platform, be ready for critique. If it's someone else's show, respect the format. Because when you don't, you end up clashing, not necessarily because you're wrong, but because you're out of alignment with the setting. And that's exactly what we see in these moments. Final takeaway? This isn't just about agreeing or disagreeing with Kevin. It's about preparation plus self-awareness plus emotional control. If you lack those three in a high-pressure conversation, you're probably going to fold, backpedal, or spiral, especially when the spotlight is on.